So my name is Cadeau. I work as a headmaster and an MC, but obviously this video is more of me being the headmaster than the MC. Now, I've been in education for the past 11 years, then being a headmaster for 5 to 6 years now. So I believe that I have some experience that I can share with you. So in this video, we'll be discussing some very pertinent things that you need to look out for before selecting a school for your child. Now, I know that a lot of parents these days, a lot of young parents especially, are always looking for the best schools that can give their children a good platform to be successful in their careers, a good school that can give them connections and all of that. And then also, lots of us make the mistake of taking our children to, especially our alma maters, or just schools that we think that the buildings look beautiful and all of that. Now, remember that the alma mater that you know of some 10, 20 years ago is not the same. It may be the same, but most of the time, a lot of things have changed. So if you're making a decision, it should be on other things, and I'm going to be sharing that with you. Now, before you select a school for your child, you need to ask yourself, what kind of education do I want to give my child? Now, in Ghana here, we have schools that run different curricula. So we have the Ghana Education Curriculum, like the GES. We have schools that run the British curriculum, and we also have schools that run the American curriculum, and then there are schools that run the French curriculum. Then there's a Montessori as well. There are also schools that run a mixture of the Ghana and the British or the American one as well. So that should be part of your decision making. What kind of curriculum do I want my child to take part in? Now, note that most of the time the foreign curriculum is quite expensive. Those schools are quite expensive. For the working class, the middle income, any kind of person, maybe you want to consider the GS curriculum. Some also is expensive anyway. Now, for a first-time schooler, as I'll say, so your child is about 2 or 3 years, you want to go to the preschool. Note that we have some schools that have the tag Montessori. So a lot of parents have the pride and say, oh, my child goes to a Montessori school and all of that. Now, the fact that a school has the name tag Montessori, so Abena Montessori School, Kwame Montessori, that should not necessarily mean that they are indeed practicing the Montessori style. Now, Montessori style is basically the style where they use play, they use activity based in learning. So we don't have the lecturing kind of system that we have mostly in Ghana, where the teacher stands in front of the class and then tells you 1 + 1 = 2. No, for Montessori, they take you through the process. So they have to walk you through it. So you see that children do a lot of activity. There's always painting, there's artwork, this and this and that. Now, so if you are thinking of, if your child is in a Montessori school, you should be expecting that kind of system, not that they just have a name. It's difficult to see a JHS department running Montessori here in Ghana, but we have some schools with a JHS calling themselves Montessoris, but well, we leave them to be. Now, so after you have decided on which curriculum that you want your child to run, now maybe you've seen a school in a neighborhood, the school looks nice, don't let the building fool you anyway. Some schools have very beautiful buildings, but then what goes in there may not necessarily suit your child. Now, when you go for the admission process or you go for the admission tour of the school, there are very pertinent questions that you should be asking either the headmaster or the admission officer. And one of them is that you should ask them what the vision and the mission is. Now, why do you need to know? Because the vision and mission of the school is what drives the school. Now, if for instance you are a devout Christian and then you enroll your child in an Islamic school or in a Buddhist school, you should know that at a point in time there's going to be some sort of conflict, and you wouldn't want that. So the vision tells you where the school is heading towards, what they think about, what they expect to do with your child, how they want to groom your child and all of that. So you should be able to ask that. I realize a lot of parents, when they come for admission, are just interested in how much do you take, but that is even the list of the things I should be considering. Now, after knowing that, the other question you should be asking are policies. What is the school's policy on a number of things? So I'll be taking you through the policies. One, paramount, security. What is the school's policy on security? So first of all, I will advise that you take your child to a school that is well gated. This has nothing to do against the schools without a wall and a gate. But for security's sake, go to a school that is well gated. Your child will be safer in there. Now, as you are entering that particular school to go for admission, what was the process like? Did you just walk in? Do you have a security person at post? Did they question you, or did you just walk by? If you're able to just walk through the gate like that and go to wherever you want to go to, it tells you that anybody at all can enter that school. Take your child away. You understand? There are a lot of kidnapping issues these days, so you need to be very cautious of security in the school. Now, also about security, you need to ask the admission officer or the headmaster, the principal, what their policy on pickup of the child at the end of the day is. So they should be able to let you know that only a few designated people are allowed to come pick up the children. So maybe father and mother are the ones who come and take the child. But in the event where father and mother will not be able to come, the office should be able to find out from the parent that, are you the one sending this person to pick the child? There should be verification. But if it is open to all, anybody at all can pick up your child, know that one day you come and you tell you, oh, Kwame Ajo has come for your child already, and I don't need to tell you what the feeling will be like anyway. So it's important you ask them about that question. Now, another thing you need to ask them is their policy on health. Now, if, for instance, your child falls sick in the school, what happens? So imagine you already enrolled your child, you're at home, and then your child comes home, and then the child is bleeding. There's a deep cut, and then you find out from the school what happened. And so the child slipped and then had a cut and all of that. So what did the school do? And so we applied how do you call it, gingivitis or something, just first aid. And obviously you're going to be furious, because this is something that they should have taken the child to the hospital for it to be stitched or something. And then you inquire from the school, why did they do that? So our policy, we are not doctors, we can't do such things and all of that. But if at the beginning you knew that this is what the school does, you would have advised yourself, because normally a good school should be able to attend to the child whether you are there or not. Then if you come around, maybe the school decides to bear all the costs, or they will ask you to help them with the cost or something. So health and safety is also very important, because children get hurt a lot, trust me. Almost every day there's an injury here and there, so you need to be cautious of that. Now, what is the policy on feeding? Is it a school that will provide food for the children? Are they bringing food from the house? Is somebody going to be cooking the food and be selling to them and all of that? So there's a popular thing in Ghanaian schools, feeding fee. And it's a major problem in a lot of schools. And most of the time when you go for admission, we don't tell you, we don't give you details about the feeding fee and all of that. So after admitting the child, and then they now tell you, feeding fee is 10 cedis, feeding fee is 5 cedis. And you're like, so why didn't you tell me this from the beginning? You understand? So you get surprised and all of that. So you should ask them, That will also help you to know whether you have to cook for your children to bring to the school. You need to ask them whether the feeding is compulsory or not. So get all of these. Now for private schools, feeding fee helps a lot. So a lot of them it is compulsory, but you still need to ask and then be clear on that right from the onset. Now another thing you need to also check is the facility. Now mind you, maybe you're attracted to the beautiful edifice they have, but when you enter the edifice, what is there? Now for someone enrolling your child in a preschool department, that school should have a playground somewhere the children can play, because preschool is mainly activity based. The children should go to run around, they should go to jump here and there. So if the school is quite limited in space, it doesn't help in the formation of the children. There are schools that they can barely even hold an assembly on a ground because it's very tiny. It doesn't really help. It doesn't really help. A good school should have a playground where the children should go to explore their talent and other things over there. Now, how about the washroom? Ask to go to the washroom. They don't know you want to check things about. Go there, just see how the place is well kept. It will also help you to know whether when your child comes, he or she will be in good hands, will be safe in the environment that he or she will be in. Ask about the dispensary, whether they have a dispensary. How about other facilities, library? Those are other things, but mainly about how clean the environment is, the washroom, and then the playground count a lot when it comes to facility. And then also for let's say Montessori school, you can't have a Montessori school where there are no play materials in the classroom. It's a no-no. So you should be looking out for this. Now, you'd want to know the kind of people that will be teaching your child. How do you know this? Normally, when you come to a school, for admission, you talk to the headmaster or the admission officer or the administrator. And most of the time, these people speak so well, they give you good PR. Now, when you come to my school and you come to meet me, I believe I'm quite a good communicator. So I will sell the school very well to you. So if you're getting information from me, it means that you'll be impressed, you understand? But mind you, I am not the one on the ground, you understand? So if you need to know the kind of teachers that will be teaching your child, spend some time, casually have a conversation with one of the teachers around. Even the way they speak, their English, their Ghanaian language, whatever, gives you an insight into the kind of people that will be teaching your child. You understand? Because you can't have a school where the teachers service of agreement is all over the place and all of that. It's a no-no. So you want to have just a short interaction. Yeah. And then also with the teachers, you should also find out, not necessarily from the admission officer, but maybe in the neighborhood, that how often do they keep teachers in the school? What is the longest serving? Who is the longest serving teacher? Is it 5 years, 2 years, 1 year? There are some schools that almost every time they're changing teachers. And when you have a school that they are always changing teachers, it does not help your child. It does not help your child's growth. The child needs to be used to a particular field, a particular voice. If today there's a teacher, they call the teacher auntie, then in 2 weeks' time she's gone. By the next time another auntie comes in, it doesn't help, because every teacher and their own peculiar way of teaching. So it does not help the formation of your child. So you need to know. There are some schools when you go, teachers have been there for 15, 25 years. But there are others to 2, 3 months, 2 years, and all of those things. I know a school, beautiful facility, everything is wonderful, but the problem is that almost every time there are new teachers. They are needed. So because of the school is not growing, the children are not doing well. So this is something that you need to also find out. Now, my last issue for today's episode will be find out whether there's an active PTA Very, very important. Now, why is PTA important? PTA is important because the PTA helps to keep the school on their toes. If you have an active PTA, private schools run on money, so we tend to increase fees, canteen fee, classes fee, and all of these things. Now, if you don't have an active PTA, who will be like conscious to them when they want to increase it, the PTA executives can meet the school. You just increase the fees some few months ago. Things are not good in the country anyway, so why don't you wait a bit? They can dialogue with the school management, and then they speak for the parents. So, and then if also there are issues that parents are going through, PTA executives can see management and then sort it out. But if you have a school where there's no active PTA, what happens is that things are forced down on you. Before you know, school fees has been increased 80%. Before you know, canteen fee has been increased. Teachers are misbehaving, no one is talking about it. Management is just making decisions that is not in favor of you parents, and no one is there to speak for you. So that the only thing you can do is to take your child away. But the more you move your child around, the more it affects the children. So you want to also look at a school that has an active PTA. Good. So I believe that this has been a bit helpful. It will help you to make a better decision. These are all the things that you look out for anyway. But so what I'll do is that in my next episode, we'll look at other things. We'll move to the academic side of so how you can help your child to perform better and all of that. So the name has been Cadeau, the headmaster, but not the MC this time around. You can follow me on Instagram, on Facebook at Mr. Cadeau, the MC. Yes, for my Instagram is about the MC, but let's interact. If there's any questions, please drop it in the comment section, and I'll be glad to attend to it. Shalom. Peace.